Meanwhile, in California, Governor Newsom's redistricting plan will go to voters in November. The state legislature approved his proposal for a new map on Thursday. The play is a counter to President Trump, who is backing the new Texas map. Let's bring in California Republican Congressman Tom McClintock. Tom, what do you think of the new map?
Well, I don't like any of this nonsense, either in Texas or California. The difference is Texas allows this kind of abuse, but Californians have been protected from it by our independent commission. That's what Newsom's trying to bypass. Remember that the California Commission held 196 public meetings. It received more than 30,000 written communications over a period of 9 months. They listened to every constituency and every community in the state. They drafted a consensus plan in public. This Gavin matter was drafted behind closed doors in a matter of days.
Well, I want to put up something that Gavin Newsom posted on Twitter. And in it, he says, it's direct democracy that gives us a fighting chance to stop Donald Trump's election rigging. He says this is a very democratic thing he's doing, trying to override the state elections board. Your response?
Well, it's a ludicrous statement. The entire plan was drawn behind closed doors. The only reason the public gets to see the maps at all is that a vote's required to bypass the commission and adopt them. And I think that this is going to end up being a huge headache for Newsom because he's going to have to justify to many small towns like Lodi why they're being split into 3 congressional districts. And he's going to have to explain to people in rural towns like Alturas whose congressman is going to be chosen by voters 300 miles away in Marin County. So I don't think that the Democrats are going to succeed with this. Remember, they already tried to abolish this commission in 2010 with Prop 27. Voters rejected that 60-40. I think most Americans, whatever their political views are, have an innate sense of fairness. And I think that's going to be decisive on November 4th when they go to vote.
So you don't necessarily think these new maps that the governor proposes, you don't necessarily think they're going to pass?
No, already liberal good government groups like the League of Women Voters are opposing it. A Common Cause initially opposed it and then withdrew its opposition under pressure. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who has impeccable credentials among independent voters, is campaigning against it. And also, I think Californians are tiring of Gavin Newsom. So I think he's bitten off far more than he can chew.
Well, he's rumored to want to run for president. You think this is part of his launching pad?
I'm sure that's how he's getting attention, but I think when all of this plays out, it's going to be the wrong kind of attention. I think people are going to get a clear measure of the political partisanship of this man, and also the story. Californians are leaving in droves now because of the policies that he's enacted and stood behind.
Yeah, and it's not just California residents; it's California businesses. I want to put up a statement from Marcus Lemonis, who is the head of Bed Bath & Beyond. He says, "We will not open retail stores in California. This isn't about politics. It's about reality. California's system makes it nearly impossible for businesses to succeed, and I won't put our company, our employees, or our customers in that position." And then he goes on to write, "California has created one of the most overregulated, expensive, and risky environments for business in America." Well, you're a California representative. How do you respond?
Well, he's right. I mean, and he's not alone. Iconic California companies like Oracle and Charles Schwab and Hewlett-Packard, Tesla, In-N-Out, they've all moved out of California. Chevron celebrated its 145th year in California by announcing it was moving to Texas. California was Bed Bath & Beyond's biggest market. They had 90 stores here. There's one just down the street from where I'm sitting right now. They're announcing plans to open 300 stores now across the country, but not one in California. And this is precisely the point and why I think it's related to the whole redistricting question. Wherever leftist policy takes hold, you see the quality of life decline. Ultimately, families and businesses vote with their feet and leave. That's what's been happening in California. In the last decade, about 2.5 million more people have moved out of California than have moved in. So California is forget about redistricting. California is likely to lose 5 congressional seats in the next census just because Californians are fleeing to Republican states like Texas, which is likely to pick up 5 seats.
Wow. Congressman Tom McClintock, a Republican from California. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.